talked to money before? The year is 2015, and we have been transported to Los Angeles. The city is alive with the buzz of traffic and the chatter of people going about their busy lives. Among them was me. I was driving up the 405 highway on my way to work as a waitress at a restaurant. I rolled my window down to feel the sun on my skin, and I took a deep breath of fresh air when I had the idea to talk to money. And whilst it may sound like a crazy idea, it was one of those rare moments where life seemed to slow down and sparkle with opportunity. So I started talking to money, and we made an agreement that if I received $2,000 that weekend, I would quit my job and start following my dreams. This was a rather unrealistic goal, considering making that amount in a month at this restaurant was a long shot. But when I pulled up to that restaurant that night, I felt elevated by the possibilities of imagining, well, what if it happened? It ended up being a terribly slow night, to say the least. So when the time came for me to cash out my last table, a group that I really got to connect with, I wasn't expecting too much. I ran their card for the $300 check, and after the man signed the tab, he asked me to look at the tip and make sure he tipped me enough. Awkwardly, I picked the checkbook up, opened it, and read the tip. $2,000. He just tipped me $2,000! Time stood still around me as I realized what this meant for my life. Freedom! I was free to leave work that was wearing at my soul. I looked up at this man with a tear of gratitude in my eyes as he said these words to me. I hope this helps you follow your dreams. Was this man inside my head? Was this real life? All I knew was that the entire universe was conspiring to make sure I held up my end of the agreement. So I marched over to my manager and I quit. And I never went back to that restaurant. Now what would happen next would take me on a several-year journey around the world, figuring out who I wanted to be. And that led me to creating my first online business. And while I had figured some things out, what I did not do was keep talking to money. And the constant stress of my finances was ever growing. I was a volcano on the edge of eruption, and driving one day alone in Costa Rica was where I exploded. A panic began rushing through my body, and I could no longer see the road in front of me. I would soon learn that this would be the first of 3 years' worth of daily seizures that would take me from having perfect vision to being legally blind in an instant. If that wasn't enough, I began hallucinating and losing touch with reality. My breaking point came one day when I woke up in the worst, agonizing pain of my life. I felt myself leave my body as it continued to seize on and off all day long. I really thought that this was the end, so I surrendered. I curled up in a ball on the floor and begged God over and over, God, please let this be my breakthrough, or please just let me die. Surviving that day was my sign. I took a 9-month sabbatical from my business and sought out the help that I needed to heal. And it was gonna cost me a lot of money, and I didn't have it. That's when I remembered that conversation that I had with money that led me to receiving that $2,000 tip that changed my life. And I decided this time I was gonna focus on healing my toxic relationship with money for real. With every layer of money trauma that came up and was healed, unexpected money would show up in my bank account, enough to pay for my next treatments. One of the many modalities that I sought out for care was acupuncture. And during these sessions, I started to connect various financial stress and fears with different meridians in my body. Meridians are the channels that carry life force energy to every cell, system, and organ of our body. And while it may sound a little new agey at times, scientists out of Seoul National University have confirmed that this energy system is a critical part of our overall health and wellness. What I was discovering was that every meridian creates a specific experience in our lives with money. Financial stress in our liver will show up differently than if that stress were in our kidneys. And our money stories reveal to us where in our meridians the energy is blocked and exactly where we need to focus our attention for healing. One of the first and most common areas that people who are pushing money away from them because of financial stress and pain is in our heart meridian. Here it doesn't feel safe to let money into our lives because of painful financial experiences that we have all had in one way or another. The first step to healing your heart meridian and to creating a healthy relationship with money is to go home tonight and write a love letter to money. Now I want you to write it like you were writing to the one that got away, talking about the good times and the bad, ending with a commitment to work on repairing the relationship. You are not alone on this journey. There are brave people all over the world choosing to lean in to their financial story and do the work to heal their relationship with money. And as a result, they're not only receiving more money, they're experiencing more ease, joy, and self-worth. Money is a part of us. And when you understand that, it will take the mystery out and it puts the magic in. Thank you, everyone.